Hey y'all, Sam Young here. Looking forward to talking with you on the phone, but wanted to take some time and share a little bit about Venn technology from my perspective before we get on the call to maybe preemptively answer any questions you might have. So if you've been to our website, you'll have noticed that we're obviously in the tech consulting space working with cloud-based systems, primarily Salesforce, but also Sage Intacct. We are implementers of Salesforce, but we also integrate Salesforce with a growing list of systems. In addition to Salesforce, we integrate Sage Intacct. However, we don't implement the accounting software. We're not accountants, so we don't claim to be. We definitely have an understanding of how the back end of that software works and how information needs to flow in and out of it. Our client base is primarily small to mid-sized businesses, and those are in a variety of industries. We've worked with pharmaceutical companies, tech firms, CPA firms, construction companies. We did work for a movie theater chain, a company that manufactures dorm room furniture in mass quantity. So really kind of a wide variety in our client base. We've also done work with nonprofits, everything from megachurches, universities, philanthropy groups. We did work for the Air Force Association, Mothers Against Drunk Drivers, Lifesong for Orphans, Glorieta Camps. So lots of diversity in our clientele. Not really anyone we wouldn't work with, provided they needed the services we offer. That being said, historically, we've not really done government contracts or worked with like hospitals or law firms, simply because the work in those spaces is very industry specific and comes with a lot of red tape and security protocols. With all the work that exists in other eco spaces, we definitely kind of lean into those areas. So that's the what we do, the who we work with, the how we do it. Combine all of those things, and that gets us to the why behind the work that we do. We have a saying on our landing page of our website that says we create systems that free people to do what they're best at. We have run into numerous CEOs, CFOs who are manually generating invoices, uploading email donor lists. We had one client come to us. They were a manufacturer and distributor of a product working entirely out of Excel spreadsheets. Granted, they were really impressive spreadsheets, and they did say like, yeah, we know that this isn't going to scale and grow long term. We definitely agreed with that statement. But for us to be able to really get in the trenches with the client, hear what their needs are, find out their frustrations, a lot of the solutioning and the problems that we fix also come from us being able to educate our clients and helping them see the opportunities for what's possible with these platforms they're working with. Example, so Salesforce, you don't have to work with it long to know that it is this 900-pound gorilla, and yet you'll constantly find people using it the way my grandparents use their iPhones, only for texting and calling. And it's like, guys, this is like 10% of what this thing can do for you. And that brings me to a little bit of a rabbit trail, talking about the why behind the work. So if you look at our company logo, the Venn diagram, those three rings represent people, process, and technology. We want to be in the space where those three things overlap, and we understand the importance of prioritizing those things in that order. You can have the best technology on the market, but if it isn't working, and if it isn't implemented in a way that is taking into consideration the people that you're building it for and how they operate as an organization, it's time and money down the drain. So that being said, when we engage with customers, really kind of figuring out what are the problems, what are the things that they're not seeing, being able to speak to that. And then when we get to the end of a delivery project and hear a client say, oh my gosh, I can close my books at the end of the month. I can do the job I was actually hired to do. I can make it to my kids' track meet. I think those are the icing on the cake moments for us, in addition to doing work that we find fulfilling and enjoyable. in terms of culture, honestly, there's a lot of great content on our company website. If you go to our careers page, you'll find blogs and videos about people who've been working here in the various positions we have open and what that looks like for the individuals who are already in those positions. We also have a YouTube channel. We have a couple podcasts. So if you just want to learn more about who works at Venn, how they think, how we operate, that's definitely a great opportunity for you to go check that out. But something specific that I like to talk about with candidates is when Scott Hallrith started Venn Technology, he wanted to build a company that he would want to work for. And there have been a lot of benefits that have come out of that approach to business, but 3 specific benefits I like to talk about with candidates are, so the first is work-life balance for our team members. As much as we want our clients making it to their kids' track meets, we want that same benefit experienced by our team members. For that reason, we communicate with clients that we operate as an 8 to 5, 9 to 5 business. You can call me at 7 p.m. on a Tuesday. I will get back to you Wednesday morning. We also have a phrase at Venn, when you're on PTO, you're on PTO. I did some traveling last summer and was told by my manager, Sam, delete Slack and Gmail off your phone. I don't want to hear from you. And so really trying to enforce the principles of, letting our minds rest, but also having the energy to do good work. The second benefit revolves around one of our core values at Venn of continuous learning. We want to be the experts in the space. When we work with our clients, we want to constantly be learning and growing. I mean, if you work in the tech industry, you kind of have to be. We try to incentivize that by covering certification fees for our developers and consultants. We'll offer a one-time bonus for those certification achievements. So one of the reasons we want to be experts in this space is because that's one of the things that differentiates Venn from our competitors. We don't just understand how to build integrations. We will coach a client or offer perspective while they're making all these changes, sometimes with platforms they've never used before. You definitely want your CPA to tell you while you're filling out your taxes, hey, if you fill it out this way, you're going to save money. And so because of that, that's one of the drivers behind us wanting to be the experts in the space, making sure that we're sharing our perspectives with each other, because we've implemented our own processes, we've built our own integrations, and we know what it looks like to over-engineer something, under-engineer something, not think things through before engineering something. So separating ourselves from our clients as experts in the space who really understand how information needs to flow between systems. But I think ultimately it revolves around a mindset and a principle of how we approach work and how we approach sharing that information. When I started part-time as an executive assistant, honestly, I think it was on my recruiting call, from that point, I felt challenged. Sam, if you know a better way to do something, we want to hear it. I had no experience in tech, nor had I had an experience in corporate America, and yet being challenged to bring my perspective to the table as something to offer that I could learn from others, but that I could also teach them something. So whether you've been in the industry for 10 months or 10 years, there's a place to contribute. That's also a huge reason why we are an in-office company, is that there is so much collaboration. The nature of the work that we do is very collaborative. And so much of that happens in hallway conversations, or can we just walk over to a whiteboard and write this out and get on the same page for what we're trying to solve for the client. The third benefit is we here at Venn are not micromanagers. We do not want to be, neither do we have time to sit over someone's shoulder and critique every bit of their work. In general, at Venn, we start with trust with our employees. I have the pleasure of getting to be a part of the onboarding process. I sit down with new hires and will essentially read the rule book, kind of say, hey, here's the fence, don't jump over it. But in terms of how you approach your work and tackle your responsibilities, we want to empower our team members to take ownership of those things for themselves. Yes, management, I mean, we are in office, we're collaborative, so there is opportunity to reach out and ask for help where you might not quite know or want a second opinion. But in general, we're really looking for individuals who are problem solvers and self-starters in their own space and can really take ownership of their work and run with it. One of the values, or not core values, but kind of attributes that we really value at Venn is the attribute of initiative. And we believe that if you have so much bureaucracy and red tape, so many processes in place, granted we do have HR, we have processes for everybody to row in the same direction, that we're marching towards the same things. But if you have so much process and the lanes are so narrow that you're allowed to drive in, it disincentivizes people from looking outside of themselves. We want people who will see something wrong with a client project and speak up about it. And whether I can fix the problem or not, I can call something out and make sure it gets across the finish line so that we as a team are successful, so that our partners are successful, so that our clients are successful. So that in a nutshell is Venn technology according to me. Hopefully this answered some of those pre-existing questions you had, and now you can prepare some more specific ones that I can hopefully answer for you on our call. I'm looking forward to talking with you. See you soon.